Kara Choi, it's such a delight to sit down with you this afternoon and to be welcoming you to our Connections Count therapist team. Maybe to kick off, can you tell us what would you like potential clients to know about you?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I believe personally, but also take into therapy, which we know the evidence supports, is just that we are, as humans, we're created for connection
Yeah.
with others. We see that parent, children, we see that with adults to adults. And I think I really take that as one of the biggest things, right? So in therapy, personally, I love to work with people who want to strengthen a connection with even parts of themselves, with others and with their children. So it's something that I'm really passionate about in just strengthening those relationships because we know how important relationships are to our well-being. And if we have strong connections with those around us, we have this beautiful buffer against some of the stresses of life. When I work with people, I the very first thing is I just really want them to feel that they are valuable, that they're okay to come just as they are, and that it's okay without judgment to start to share a bit about themselves and get to, for them, sometimes to voice the things that they've never said before. And that can be quite scary. But I would like them to know as they consider therapy that hopefully it would be a safe place for them.
I'm completely with you on that. And I also love that I hear you saying you want people to feel safe and valued in your therapy
Yes.
room. You want them to feel welcome to come exactly as they are. I know
Right.
we met without judgment, which segues beautifully into my next question.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you can describe for us your approach to therapy.
Really, first and foremost, I want to just see the person as they are and their history, that I can just sit with them and to really understand what it's like for them. So
Mm,
that would be the first thing. In saying that, my therapy modalities tend to be along that same kind of line, which is very attachment heavy. So because we are created for connection, this view that understanding our history and who we are now because maybe of some of those things in our past. I love helping clients to work through some of that because it helps clients to come to a place of understanding themselves better, but
mm,
also starts to put some context in their own mind around, oh, maybe that's why I do this, and not meet that with judgment,
mm,
but rather validation, self-compassion, and kindness, so that then they have a choice with compassion to do something differently should they choose it. I do also work with the perinatal period, so postpartum, particularly new mums and dads, because in this period, it's very, very common for these things to come up. Your
mm,
family of origin,
mm,
how you were parented, as parenting is first thing in your mind as you have your own little bub.
mm,
So these things really come up quite often in this period, and particularly for those who might have had a little bit more of a difficult upbringing,
mm.
it can really kind of sometimes catch them off guard. And so coming to therapy, allowing that space for you in that postpartum period where really it's so much about giving as new parents, but to find that space for you to work through some of these things in a way and pace that feels safe and right for them. So it doesn't have to be rushed, but to really do it in a way that feels right, that strengthens them, that protects that, then into that next generation, that protects that relationship with your children, um, creating security for them. So it's this beautiful kind of cycle between generations that I see, and I love doing that work for that reason.
Oh, Cara, I love to hear that. I hear you telling us about work that's very relational,
Yes.
grounded in the research and evidence of attachment theory, right? That's inviting people to explore how their attachment histories might impact the way they show up now.
Yes.
And I love that you're letting us know you have that particular passion and quite extensive experience actually working in that perinatal space and postnatal space with both mums and dads, right?
Yeah.
Supporting them to just know how to show up as the parents they desire to be.
Oh, that's the biggest thing. I've heard that so many times because there's such this beautiful desire oftentimes from just their love for their children, but
Mm.
oftentimes also from a place of wanting to maybe take the things that were good, but leave the things that were not so good with their own upbringing, and this desire to do things differently for their own children. And it's a beautiful time to be able to work on some of those things.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm sure you can hear it. I love working in that space. It really brings me joy to see parents feel like, wow, I feel like I can be the parent that I really want to be. And that's such a beautiful thing.
That's something I know you and I talk about and are both passionate about, that therapy doesn't just have to be about relieving distressing
Mm-hmm.
symptoms, but it can actually be something that enriches not only your life, but the lives of generations to come.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can ask you one last
Yeah.
question, which is what are your hopes for the people that you work with?
I just hope that when they come and, with all their initial maybe anxiety or just uncertainty around what the process might look like,
Mm.
that they would kind of relax into it as we start talking, that they would feel held,
Mm.
that they would feel safe. And my hope for them is that they would be able to understand more about the way they are, maybe the way that they show up in certain situations, with such compassion for themselves, and self validation and kindness. I think that is such a beautiful thing when someone's able to do that for themselves, and for them to have a sense of choice in how they want to be in the world. My hope for clients is that they can get to a place where they can slow things down a little bit. They can slow down. It gives them that little bit of extra buffer and space for them to have a choice in how they want to be. And that in turn, I think is very empowering for people when they feel that they have a sense of control, a little bit more alignment with values and who they are. And that feels so beautiful in the growth that I see in people. So that's my hope for my clients, that they would feel that.
I love that. Such a pleasure to talk with you. I'm hopeful that this video helps people get a little bit more of a sense of who you are
Yeah.
as you welcome new clients with us here at Connections Count. Thank you for taking the time to chat with me.
Oh, thank you very much, Katie.